What's the tea? What a strange card. Marrying for money. What a strange card for me to get. For me to talk about. Okay, so before anybody gets defensive, let's be adult about this for a minute. Because when I talk about money, I'm not just talking about cash. I'm talking about health, insurance, security, stability, dependability, responsibility, all those adult words, and the ability to plan a future without constantly being in survival mode. That's what this is about. Money isn't shallow, it's structural. And the older we get, the more we realize stability is not a luxury. It's not. Okay, sorry, I had to close the blinds. The sun was just too much. So as I was saying, that stability is not a luxury. It's not extra. It's not an extra. It's foundational, seriously. You know that important thing in your house? The foundation? That's what this is about. You can't build a future on vibes alone. It's just the truth. You cannot build a future on vibes alone. I will say it again. Love is beautiful. Love. 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 It's easy to spell. But love without structure eventually leads to stress. So money is important, but it's not everything. I've made choices in my life where money was not the deciding factor. For example, I got my degree in psychology. Not a high-paying field at all. But it does have value to me. It does. And it fed my purpose. You know? I know that in my past, in my career, being in social work especially, and just my psychology, it actually has fed my purpose. I mean, I've been able to help people, and I'm talking about I'm still helping people. I'm trying. That's what these are about. It's about helping people emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. That's where my tarot comes in. It's putting it all together, and that matters to me more than any paycheck attached to prestige. I love what I do. That's why I do what I do. And I don't regret it at all. But here's the balance. And this is the real tea. Purpose doesn't cancel out responsibility. And love doesn't erase logistics. And meaning doesn't pay the bills by itself. I just got to keep trying though, right? That's why hustle matters. That's why effort matters. And that's why you don't just wait around hoping that things are just going to magically work, because it doesn't work that way. It won't work that way. So you got to build. You got to keep building. You got to keep planning. And you have to contribute. Everybody has to contribute. That's part of the team. You show up. You got to show up and you got to contribute. And it's not just showing up and just being there. It's contributing. And this card is not just marrying a person for their wallet. That's not what this is about. It's being married to stability. Being committed to creating a life that's sustainable. Not this fun. Are we always on adventures? Are we always going out? Are we always going to get to go to Hawaii or to just Egypt or wherever? It's not about that. It's about committing to creating a life that is sustainable every day and for the future. Choosing a partner, choosing relationships, choosing the paths that don't leave you constantly anxious about the future. It might be the wrong path if you're constantly worried. Might be the wrong person. I mean, I hate to say it, but if money is a priority in a relationship, that does not make someone cold. It makes them realistic. You know, like Rico, yesterday, he was telling me, you know, what if I didn't want to do anything? What if I just wanted to stay home? And, you know, he's talking about work and how hard it is. And I told him, I said, I wouldn't be with you. Honestly, I wouldn't be with you because that is not the kind of person you are. And I made sure when I decided to even be with you that you cared about work. You cared about your work ethic. You know, you know who you are before you get in it, you know, and it doesn't make me cold. It doesn't. The other thing is, the problem is not valuing money. That's not the problem. The problem is valuing money with no values. The problem is valuing money and you have no values. You act like you do, but do you? Do you act entitled? Money without integrity is empty. It is. And love without stability, that becomes a burden. Serious. So the real question isn't, are you with someone because of their money? It's, are the choices being made by the people allowing life to actually work? That's what it's about. Now, there's some people who have inheritance, okay? This is some people, they receive property, money, support, or resources from a family. What a blessing. That is a huge blessing. Congratulations if you've received that. You are truly blessed. There's no shame in that. There isn't. It just means that someone before you worked, sacrificed, or planned ahead. That's not something to mock or diminish. So we don't mock or diminish those who have inherited money. But there's a difference between inheriting money and understanding what that money represents. Okay? Now, inheritance, it doesn't just bring comfort. It brings opportunity, time, safety, margin, room to breathe. Options that not everyone has access to. And that's kind of where responsibility comes in. When you've been given a head start, the work is to stay humble. Use the opportunity wisely. And recognize that having this cushion, it doesn't make you smarter, it doesn't make you better or more deserving. It just means your path looks different. It gets messy when money becomes a measuring stick. When people confuse financial advantage with moral superiority. I was saying the word in my head before I said it in my lips. Moral superiority. Thinking that you are morally superior just because you have more money or finances. When resources turn into strings, leverage, or control, or unspoken power that you hold over others, that's when money's really messy. Money used with integrity, it looks like freedom. Money used with awareness, well, I'll say this. Money used without awareness, that creates entitlement. That's when you feel like you're just entitled. You're entitled because your parents had it, or you're entitled because whatever. The truth is, whether money is earned, inherited, married into, or if it's just built over time, it's not a personality trait. It doesn't make someone above someone else. Even though people with money like to act like they are above others, it's not all people with money do that. It only changes the terrain you walk on. That's it. That's the only difference. So, the real tea, it isn't about judging who has what. It's about how people handle opportunity. Do they use it to build something solid? Do they use it to stay grounded and generous? Or do they use it to feel untouchable? Stability is a gift, but character, it's still the currency that matters the most.